So hello, today we will start another module on advanced manufacturing systems. So today we will start about a new module that is about CAD CAM and about integration of CAD CAM. You must have already heard about these terms, that CAD and CAM earlier. So let us start today's class. So if we define briefly about CAD CAM, then you can see over here that CAD CAM, it refers to the use of computers to assist design and manufacturing activities, when they are performed in an integrated manner and not as islands of automation, okay, and not in a separate way. So what we do is that we do that computer based automation of the various processes. Okay, so earlier we have studied about how we do individual processes in a computer, but here what we do is that we integrate all these processes, all these manufacturing processes, in order to make our product. Also that these benefits of integration are manifold as compared to the use of computers in a non-integrated manner. Okay, so the benefits are also more while using this integrated CAD CAM process. So here what we are doing is that we are not using computers for any separate processes like design process, like manufacturing process, but we are using computers for in integrating these processes, design, manufacturing, and all this simulation. Okay, see over here, this CAD CAM, it is simply more than CAD plus CAM. Can this definition of this CAD CAM, it is also given differently in different books. Okay, because this CAD CAM, this definition has also evolved with the technology, which has grown, which has advanced over the past, say, 4 decades. Okay, so now if you see the definition, you will see that it is more integrated than what was given in the earlier books written by earlier publishers. Okay, see over here this diagram. Okay, this shows the integrated framework of the CAD CAM models. So see over here that computers can be used in the design process, okay, in conceptual design process, and also in a design detailing process. They can also be used in analysis like FEM, the finite element modeling analysis, also for kinematics or the dynamics analysis. So one can use computers for doing this type of this conceptual design you are seeing. So one can use computers only for these functions, for carrying out these functions, and call this as a computer aided manufacturing process. Okay, so one may not use all these processes at the same time, and also one can use computers for this CAM processes, like in CNC. Okay, computer aided inspection, this assembly, and this shape optimization. Okay, so these are the CAM processes in which computers may be used. So this may not cover this whole design and manufacturing activities. Okay, because the design and manufacturing activities also involves many other processes, many other functions which are not shown over here. So these are actually what? These are the individual processes which are shown over here. So all these functions, you can say, they are related to this geometric modeling. So this is also known as the geometric model based process of this design and manufacturing. So in a product design and manufacturing process, actually one first goes for the design of the process. So we can use design tools like CAD and CATIA, all such tools. Okay, so first we prepare the design, then what we do is that we do analysis. There are also various analysis models through which we can analyze this design. This is one shown is FEM, that finite element modeling. Then one can do this shape optimization. Then one can do this shape optimization. Okay, so the geometry evolves gradually during a modeling process, during a geometric modeling process. So in a design process, what actually do is that a person which uses a computer, and then he starts with a basic model, and then he starts adding features and deleting features. Okay, so the features are gradually added, and some features may be also deleted. So the person which modifies the geometric design as a part of this design process, and finally he reaches to the final design, which is to be manufactured, which is to be put in the computer. So during this particular process, we have to check for functional requirements, certain functional requirements, and whether this geometry it will do the intended function which we want to do or not. So for this type of functions, we use analysis tools, and then from the feedback of the analysis, we modify the model further. So this process can also be said as an iterative process. Now this geometric model which is generated, it is used in different stages of manufacturing. Now suppose we have a component which has to be manufactured in a CNC machine. Now one of the inputs to generate the CNC program is the geometry of the model. So geometry is one of the key inputs in this manufacturing, in this process, like inspection, this assembly, and also in the CNC program which you already discussed. So if we come to this inspection, so the major aim of this inspection process is to see that the design geometry and the manufactured geometry, it is within the limits of tolerance or not. Okay. So in assembly also we make use of the geometry of the various parts. We take advantage of the geometry of the parts in doing the assembly. Suppose when there are two parts and they are mating parts, then these two parts have some relationship with respect to their geometry. For example, if we want to put a shaft inside a hole. So we make use of the geometry of the inner surface of the hole and the outer surface of the shaft. So over here you can see this double-faced arrows. It means that this whole process is actually a two-way process. Okay, it is not a one-way process in which all these processes give the geometric model, but also we take the feedback from this model and change these individual processes accordingly. So the geometry is modified as a part of a process. Okay, suppose we make a model using this finite element analysis. We make a geometric model. So if we see that by this analysis, we see that the strength of a particular section is not met. Okay, then we can change this model, geometric model. Okay, and then again we will check by this analysis whether it meets the strength requirements. Okay, so this is essentially a two-way process. Okay, we use the feedback to change the model and vice versa. So all this process which pertains to this design and manufacturing, they take a geometry as an input. So this type of two-way framework is used in various CAD/CAM systems. So I may have a single software. Okay, so we may have a single software, and there are various types of software. Because like finite element analysis, there are different types of FEM softwares for stress analysis, for heat transfer analysis, for CFD, computational fluid dynamics analysis. Okay, so this single software pertains to only one aspect of a design. So one approach to this CAD/CAM is that we use individual softwares for all these processes. You can see. So we use individual software for all these processes, and we have links to go from one kind of software to another. So this is the framework, and there is also another way that we buy a single software. We buy a single software, and there are all the modules are present in that single software, and we can do all these activities shown over here with the help of that single software. One such example is that high-end CAD/CAM system, okay, which has modules for all these processes shown over here. So over here, what has to be done is that geometric data has to be transferred from one software to another. Okay, and this process is known as the geometric data exchange. Okay. Geometric data exchange. Okay, so see over here, this shows the geometric data exchange, okay, which has to be done. Like if we are using an individual software, so we have this software 1 which stores geometry in a certain format. Then you can see over here we have another software to where this geometry has to be transferred. Now, when there is a change in this geometric format, some data transfer is necessary from one system to another. So there is no unique way in which a geometry can be stored. Now if we want to store suppose a circular arc, so how we will store this arc? So what information we need to input for representing this circular arc? So for this we say a number of information is required about the center point or radius, okay, start point or end point. Okay, so we need a combination of this, suppose a combination of these entities for storing the information about this arc. So you can see these two arrows over here, shown over here, okay, for translating the data, for geometric data from one software to another. So these are another types of software. These two-way arrows are another types of software. Okay, so these are known as this geometric data translator, which precisely takes a software, takes a file from software 1 and then changes into a format which can be used by the another software. So another type of procedure for doing this is that, see over here, so we do not have a translator, okay, for direct translation of the geometrical format. So what we do over here, we make use of some intermediate geometric format, as you can see over here, which can be in an universally accepted format in some manner. We can have a translator to change it from geometric format of, say, software 1 to this intermediate format shown over here, and then we use this another translator which changes this from intermediate format to this geometric format of the second software, of software 2. So if we want to move in the other direction from this to this, okay, so you have to use another set of translators. Okay, so this is another way of doing this process of translation, of changing a geometric data from one system to another. So in the first case we are using two translators, and in this process we are using 4 translators. So which process is more, which process is better than the other? Okay, so this direct translation method is more preferable. Okay, so in this intermediate format, what may happen is that some data or some information may be lost in the midway, but this format also has its own advantages. Okay, suppose we use a 7 different systems. Suppose we have 7 different systems that has 7 different formats, and we need to have translators for converting from one form to another. So if we follow this first approach, the number of translators we need between any two combinations. Okay, so there are 7 systems, so between any two combinations. So in this first process, how many translators do we need? So we need basically a 7C2 combination. Okay, for changing from one format to another, from 1 to say 4 or 1 to 3. Okay, so the number of combinations needed is 7C2 combination. So the number of translators is 7C2 into 2, because this is a bidirectional translator. Okay, so here we need, in this combination we need 14 translators. Okay, so here we need 14 translators because we are going through that intermediate format. So in this for systems, so this process is more beneficial. Okay, for a 7 system analysis, so you can see that this is more beneficial in such systems because here we need much more number of translators. Okay, so more the number of system, so this type of intermediate translation, it will be more useful. Okay, so this geometric data translation, it is becoming more acceptable day by day. Okay, because organizations like to subcontract the major components to another intermediate organization. So this is all for today's class. We will continue with the discussion on this CAD/CAM in the next lecture. Okay, so this is all for today. I hope you have understood what I have said for today. So thank you.